About 1,500 years ago, in roughly 550 A.D., ancestral Pueblo people living in the Four Corners region of the American Southwest settled in Mesa Verde. For more than 700 years, they prospered here and built a beautiful community known for its cliff dwellings, basketry, and pottery. Then in the late 1200s, over the span of a generation or two, they left.
Our connection to Mesa Verde is a long history. There are many clans that have migrated through the area of what we call the Bear Hill.
The remains and items left behind at Mesa Verde were undisturbed for centuries. But white men arriving here changed that.
Gustav Nordenskjöld is the son of a very famous Swedish Arctic explorer. He goes to the Denver Library and he meets a really interesting woman named Alice Eastwood, who becomes a premier botanist in the American West. She tells him about Mesa Verde and the fact that these ruins have been discovered. So he takes the train to Durango, takes the train on to Mancos, and has a letter of introduction from Alice to the Wetherells, hires the Wetherells as guides, and begins to excavate at Mesa Verde.
The Wetherells were local ranchers who had explored Mesa Verde, so they were familiar with the area and made excellent guides.
That's how he ended up formally started going in there and doing some of the excavations, more or less, I would call it vandalism.
He will eventually amass 7 train car loads of artifacts, 7 train car loads of original ancestral Puebloan baskets, pottery, even coprolites, which are prehistoric feces. He collects everything.
Nordenskjöld collected about 600 items, including human remains, that he sent home to Sweden. These items would end up and be curated at the National Museum in Helsinki, Finland. In 2019, it was announced that Finland had finally agreed to return the human remains and funerary items, almost 130 years after Gustav stole them. In 2020, the National Museum of Finland and the Hopi tribe, the Pueblo of Acoma, the Pueblo of Zia, and the Pueblo of Zuni entered into an agreement for the repatriation of 20 ancestors and 28 funerary items.
So what will be coming home for the first time are human remains and then associated funerary objects. And the tribes will then take care of those, rebury them at Mesa Verde.
On September 13th, 2020, the ancestors were reinterred at their home in Mesa Verde.
We just repatriated the remains of approximately 25 individuals that were brought back, including infants, a lot of the basketry, the pottery. When we were there, fortunately, we had a light rainstorm. We feel that anytime we receive rain or moisture, that is them telling us that they are going home and that they are erasing their footprints from the present-day land that they had occupied. I'm a veteran of the United States Army, and I spent 10 years, and unfortunately, you see things in the military you don't really want to talk about. But there's a saying that with us Army veterans, we always say we never leave anyone behind. And it felt like I was on a mission to do something like that.